comedian Bill Burr is taking on Ben Shapiro, or vice versa, however you want to look at it. It's kind of a one-sided feud that is happening, and it involves Ben Shapiro and Bill Burr, and it is very entertaining to say the least. It all began with Ben Shapiro's think piece, so-called think piece on Bill Burr, where he says Bill Burr goes full a-hole. This week, he explained that he is perfectly fine with CEOs having to live with full-time security because they fear they might be shot. It's not exactly what Bill Burr said. We'll get into that. But what prompted Shapiro to write this is not only that Bill Burr called out billionaires to be put down like rabid dogs, but he also hated Bill Burr's Broadway debut. Like the things that Ben Shapiro is mad about, like why does he have to add a Broadway debut to this? So the headline from the New York Times shows that Bill Burr is about to hit Broadway. Broadway better duck, it says. The acerbic comic sounds like a Mamet character, and thanks to Nathan Lane, he's making his Broadway debut as one in Glengarry Glen Ross. Nathan Lane, Broadway icon. So here are Ben Shapiro's criticisms of Bill Burr. He said in the Daily Wire, it turned out to be one of the worst shows I've ever seen in my life because Burr has become woke. Over time, I think he became embarrassed that many people on the right thought he was very funny, so he decided he was going to go woke. I don't know what going woke or being woke has to do with your performance in a Broadway play, but Ben Shapiro has made that correlation somehow, doesn't really back it up. Also, the right just loves to say that things are woke when they don't like it or if it makes them uncomfortable. So Ben Shapiro continued, he said, Burr openly cheered the murder of the United Healthcare executive because he says CEOs should live in fear if they don't act in a way that he would have them act in a system that he has no fixes for, by the way. What he said is truly evil. He's saying you should live in fear if you're a CEO of a company that does things that Burr deems to be bad or wrong. Bill Burr he's a comedian, so he's allowed to criticize things and not offer solutions for them because he's not an elected official in government. Neither is Ben Shapiro, by the way, but no one's expecting him to have any policy solutions for us either. So Bill Burr, meanwhile, is completely unbothered by any of this. So according to the New York Times, when I tell him that the right-wing media figure Ben Shapiro said he is going woke, Burr shot back, all he knew is if he put woke on what I said, he would make more money. I don't know who he is, but that guy is a jerk off. And that is succinctly put. And he's absolutely right. A lot of these commentators, you put things in the headline and you put things in your videos and you say these things that you know are going to be inflammatory because the nature of the media landscape today, especially the online media landscape, Jordan, you and I are very familiar with that particular landscape. A lot of it is, unfortunately, it is a lot about numbers, right? You still have to get the views if you want an audience, if you want a platform and things like that. So a lot of us have to play the game, whether or not we like it. But I think at least I think you as well, we try to do that in a way that is authentic and is not misleading our audience or not provoking them beyond the rage that should innately be felt at the things that are happening to the American people and in the government. It's a tricky line to teeter, though. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I've really grown fond of Bill Burr over the past few weeks. He just all of his comments are just hilarious.
Yeah.
His read on the current moment is hysterical. But yeah, he's totally right. Ben Shapiro doesn't really know how to handle that, so he's like, well, it's woke, so you have to hate it. But there's no substance or thought there. I mean, he didn't care about Bill Burr when he was attacking Michelle Obama. He didn't care about Bill Burr or call him woke when he was insulting male feminists. He didn't go after Bill Burr when he was saying offensive things during his comedy sets or calling white women the C word. But once he started going after the United Healthcare CEO, then he's woke. Now Ben Shapiro has to step in. It's come on, man. You can't just slap one joke or one line with the woke label and decry a comedian and the totality of his career. I mean, the guy says offensive things to get a laugh. That's who he is. He's funny. If you don't like it, just don't listen to him. So, I mean, I thought these were the people who liked free expression and thought snowflake liberals were too sensitive. Who's crying now?
Yeah, and the thing is, like, of all people to criticize for their views and opinions, Bill Burr, again, is a comedian. He's not anybody who is affecting anything in our government right now. There are far better people to be criticizing, even for somebody like Ben Shapiro. But I think it's also low hanging fruit to criticize a comedian who is as outspoken as Bill Burr is. Also, I just want to point out that the things that Ben Shapiro accused Bill Burr of saying and supporting, he didn't really say that, right? All he was saying in his criticism of the United Healthcare CEO shooting was that you can't blame people for being mad at people like this healthcare CEO. You have to understand that people are mad not just at the CEO, but at the whole institution of healthcare in this country. People are suffering and people are going to snap if you keep, telling sick people that they're not covered for things that they have been paying for. So that was his statements, but Ben Shapiro misrepresented them all along the way. So
Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.